Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is Monday night. It is 7:30, which means it is time for Disney Co. in the Know Live. Whether you are watching us live and joining in on the discussion or rewatching this at a later date, I welcome you to the show. It's good to have you, and I look forward to seeing your comments in the comment section. This is show number 4. And on tonight's show, we're going to be talking about vacations. 2021 reservations are open. You heard us talk about it on last week's live show on the podcast. We're going to delve into some of those details about how you can book a 2021 vacation package at Walt Disney World. And on a related note, we are going to talk and discuss about the Disney Park Pass reservation system. We had mentioned it briefly on last week's episode, but tonight we are going to walk through how you make a Disney Park reservation. And then towards the end of the show, I will discuss what my 5 top Magic Kingdom attractions are and why those are my favorite. So I hope that you join in on the discussion. Let me know which attractions you like, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say. So as I said, it is Monday night. It is 7:30. We meet on here on this Facebook page every Monday night at 7:30. So I hope you can join us. I hope you can, if you can't join us this week and you're rewatching this, I hope you can join us next week, and where we can just gather as Disney fans and as friends, and have a show that is designed and oriented to you, the listener, and the viewer. So before we get into any of the news this week, this show is sponsored by 407 and Beyond Vacation Company, Disney and Universal experts who help plan your family's perfect vacation. So all you have to do is show up, have fun, and create family memories. As always, our services are free to you. Visit us on the web at www.407vacations.com. And to make sure that you stay in the know with all that's going on over at Disney World, hop on over to our blog page, which is on our vacation site, 407vacations.com/in-the-know. And it looks like people are starting to come into the chat box. So hello to everybody. I will remind you that if you are in the chat box tonight, that I am on about a 45 to 60 second delay. So if I don't see your questions right away, I promise I will try to scroll up and get to them. So we have some Disney Co. in the Know contributors who are in the chat box. Casey says, "Hey everybody, Casey, it's good to have you. Thanks for joining us tonight." And Lydia is here. And for those of you who are not familiar with Lydia's work, Lydia is a contributor for Disney Co. in the Know. So you will see her on podcasts that we have that come out every Thursday night. You can listen to our podcast over on Facebook, YouTube, and on iTunes. So check us out at Disney Co. in the Know. Hit the subscribe button. That way you stay up to date on everything that's happening over at Disney World. And that includes all Disney vacation destinations as well as Universal. She has just recently written an article about her top 5 favorite things over at the Magic Kingdom. So make sure you go check that out. And Lydia, I look forward to talking about my favorite things at the Magic Kingdom, my favorite attractions, and comparing it with your list. So Hannah is here. Hannah is also a contributor. So Hannah, it's good to have you here. Thanks for joining in tonight's live show. And Lydia says, "That's what's up. I love being in the know." Well, that is why we are on here. So whether or not you can watch us live, or you rewatch us, or you catch us on our podcast, or you visit our blog page, we're just happy that you are interacting with us, Disney Co. in the Know, and we hope that you invite your friends to join us in on the discussion, because that's the most important part, is inviting friends, getting more people together, having a good time talking about Disney. So that is all of the things that I needed to talk about before we kind of get into Disney World vacations. So you'll see the ticker on the bottom. Ask your questions at any time, even if it is specific to your vacation, and we'll try to get those answered on the air. So again, we're going to talk about 2021 Walt Disney World reservations. the Walt Disney World Park Pass reservations, and then my top Magic Kingdom attractions, and of course your vacation questions. So let's go ahead and start with the reservations. So what we know is that 2021 vacation packages are available for guests to book. Now, a Disney World vacation package includes the resort reservation as well as theme park tickets. So you must have both to have a vacation package. And Disney has released an entire list of hotels that will be open in 2021 for guests to book, and we noticed a few kind of key absent resorts on that list. There are no all-star resorts on the list. That includes All-Star Music, All-Star Sports, and All-Star Movies. So, if you're unfamiliar with the All-Star resorts, they kind of make up the value resorts. There are 2 value resorts that are on the list that are available, which is the Pop Century Resort and Art of Animation. So those are the 2 value resorts that are going to be open for guests in 2021 as of this point. So again, if you're rewatching this and it's even tomorrow, June 30th, and things have changed, that's been the status quo right now with Disney Vacations. So as new news breaks, we will bring that to you. So this is all what is at least the current news. If you're also going in 2021 and Port Orleans is a resort that you like to stay at, Port Orleans Riverside and French Quarter will both not be available as of right now. So again, if Port Orleans or All-Star resorts are your go-to resorts over at Disney World, those will not be available. So I'm hoping that changes as we get closer to 2021. And hopefully park capacity goes up, but as of right now, not available. So one kind of key question that we've been answering for clients is, well, when can I go? Can I book for the 50th anniversary, which is in October? And the answer is no. As of right now, we cannot, no travel agency and no guest can book beyond September 27th. And that is, September 27th has to be the last day on the reservation. So 2021 is open from January 1st through September 27th, but you can't arrive on the 27th and leave the 28th. Your vacation has to be over on the 27th. So that is all. That's all we know right now about 2021 reservations. Again, if you're looking for, taking your family down and celebrating the big 50th anniversary at Walt Disney World, we would love to help you with your reservation. But right now, no guests can book anything beyond September 2021. So Lydia says, I am just surprised they're not opening the most affordable hotels. Kind of a bummer. Yeah, a lot of people are fans of the All-Star Resorts. We just stayed there last year covering and doing a review of All-Star Music. And that is a resort that a lot of people gravitate to, that the All-Stars, and kind of Port Orleans too, for that moderate resort level. So it is a bit of a bummer. I imagine it has some to do with capacity levels. But yeah, so some of the cheaper end hotels or resorts over at Walt Disney World, unfortunately won't be available. Hannah says, last week you talked about flights not being included with reservation packages. Is that the case for 2021? Yes. Hannah, great question. I appreciate you bringing that back up from last week's show. That is still the case. Nobody can add flights. Disney has temporarily suspended all flight itineraries for Disney World vacation packages. So Hannah, I know this isn't your question exactly, but we will get the question, well, what about the Magical Express, which is the bus system that takes you to and from the airport on your Disney World vacation? That will still be up and running. That will be operational for guests to take. It is still free of charge, but they will just have some capacity levels lowered with some social distancing inside the buses. So just be extra patient with the Magical Express, but it will still be up and running. So no flights will be included, but you can always book your flights and then link it to your Disney account. And so that way Disney knows to pick you up at the airport on the bus. That will reserve your seat on the bus. And then, so you can definitely link your flights, give Disney your flight information, and, to reserve your spot on the Magical Express. So that is a great question. So as of right now, the water parks are not open. There was some confusion on the water parks because they were showing operating hours on the My Disney Experience app and on Disney's website. But as of right now, no water parks will be open. Disney has announced that. So if water parks are your thing, right now, they're not open. I know Volcano Bay over at Universal Orlando is open, and it looks like a lot of guests are going to Volcano Bay. But right now, Disney has said, no, we're temporarily suspending water parks visits. So now, when it comes to visiting the parks in 2021, so if you want to go ahead and book your 2021 Walt Disney World vacation, there's a couple things that you need to know, and you can talk to your travel agent about, and that is to get into a Walt Disney World theme park, you need what's called a reservation, a park pass reservation, and right now, those are available to reserve. And so we'll talk about how to do that here in just a few minutes. But just because you have a vacation package for 2021 does not guarantee you entry into a Walt Disney World theme park. So to get into the park, you must have a valid ticket, which is part of the vacation package, and then you must make that park pass reservation. Again, Disney is putting out the calendar on the vacancy of slots that are open in the parks, so you can kind of plan that out ahead. So right now, it is really important that if this seems overwhelming, that you reach out, you get a travel agent, and you can visit us at 407vacations.com, and we'll get you hooked up. So Lydia says, oh, that makes sense, but I'm also so sad about them being closed. If you're referencing the water parks, me too. The Walt Disney World has some of the best water parks. Recently, with Volcano Bay over at Universal Orlando, Universal starting to maybe top Walt Disney World water parks, but what a great way to break up 4 park days with a water park day. Just relax and have fun in the pools and the water slides. So yeah, it is a bummer, but that definitely does make sense. Another question that we're getting about 2021 is, will there be Disney dining packages? And the short answer to that is no. Right now, Disney dining packages are dining packages are temporarily suspended. We don't have any information that they will be back in 2021. So the Disney dining system will be set up that they have moved up the amount of days before your trip that you can book or reserve a dining spot, an advanced dining reservation, and that is now 60 days instead of 180. So you can book your dining reservations, but restaurants at Walt Disney World will have lower capacity, and there will not be Disney dining plans. Now, for those of you who have reservations and have Disney dining plans on your reservation, Disney is just canceling those. So you will see that on your My Disney Experience account. And then what they are doing is refunding you the money for the Disney dining plan. So you will need to make reservations. Another thing that Disney is doing is mobile ordering. So if you are new to this, you can do it on your My Disney Experience app on your mobile device. You can order your food, you can pay for it on your mobile device through the app, and then all you have to do is walk up to the counter and pick up your food. So a lot less interaction with cast and other guests. And if you are uncomfortable with going into a restaurant or you can't get reservations, that is a nice, quick way to eat at some of your favorite restaurants. So Lydia says, I have never been to Typhoon Lagoon, but want to go so bad. It is the first Disney water park. Well, not the first ever, but compared to Blizzard Beach, and it is definitely a good water park. Hannah says, water parks might be closed, but what about the water rides in the theme parks? Hannah's bringing the questions. That is a good one, and the answer is water parks will be open in the parks. So, and there might just be a water ride in my Magic Kingdom top 5 at the end of the show. So, stay tuned for that. So, Hannah says, is the mobile ordering only for quick service? Yes, it is. So another good question. There was rumor that they could potentially open this up to sit-down dining, but as of right now, mobile ordering is for quick service restaurants only. So another good question. So another thing to pay attention to in 2021 is starting January 1st, Disney is moving away from the Magic Bands. So you will no longer get a complimentary Magic Band when you book your vacation. They will still be available at the resorts and in the parks to purchase, but they will be for purchase only. And that's because Disney is moving a lot of the technology from the Magic Band over to the mobile app. So don't expect complimentary Magic Bands to be sent to you. Again, you can purchase them. Personally, I'm a big Magic Band fan. I take a lot of photos on my iPhone, and if that dies, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in terms of all of my tickets and reservations and purchases. So I like having the Magic Band on and just putting it up to the device, whether it's getting in the parks, making purchases, or with photo opportunities. So don't expect complimentary Magic Bands moving forward. So. But it is neat that Disney is enhancing the My Disney Experience app and, allowing the guest experience to go almost purely mobile. So, all right. So, let's see. I think that just about covers everything with 2021 reservations. We know that you can only book January 1st through September 27th. You will need a park pass reservation, and most of the resorts are open, but there'll be no All-Star resorts and no Port Orleans resorts. So let's now move on over to the park pass system. So I recently made a couple of reservations, which I'll pop up here so you can kind of see the experience. Okay, let's see. I just heard. So Casey says, doesn't the app run a little slow in the parks though because of everyone using it? Casey, what you're asking has been kind of a complaint of guests for a long time, is that the app will crash or it won't work. And a lot of people say that about the website, which if you made a park pass reservation this week, you are totally aware of as well. That Disney IT sometimes has the characteristics of crashing or running awfully slow. So Casey, another reason to continue to use the Magic Band, in my opinion. So all right, so like I said, I had I went through the experience of booking a park pass, and so I will show you what my experience was. So a few things you want to do first is to make sure that your tickets are linked to your My Disney Experience account. So if you have tickets, make sure you put in that code in your My Disney Experience account and make sure that those are linked. And then what you want to do is make sure that everyone in your party is checked. So if you have multiple people going on your trip, make sure they all have an icon in their name and an account. And then make sure that those are all linked. And then after you link your tickets and you link up with friends and family that you're going on your trip with, you can select a date. And so there will be color boxes in here on the availability of a certain park on a certain day. But you'll look at the calendar and then it will prompt you to select a park. So if you're like, wow, this looks really familiar, that's because this is a lot like the Fast Pass system that already exists. So Lydia's saying, hey, to the people who joined. Yeah, if you just joined, make sure you say hi. Please feel free to comment or ask questions over in the chat box. But when you go here, this is the exact same system as the Fast Pass. So after you select a date, you'll be prompted to select a park. Let me blow that back up here. And then, so after you do that, you will then be prompted to go ahead and select, and it'll give you a time that you can show up. So the next screen you can see here is that we have arrival times between 10 and 8 over at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And then after you do that and you hit reserve, you'll get a confirmation page. And then after you have the confirmation page, make sure to go back up and check in your plans under your account. So you want to make sure that those populate, because if not, there may be an error. And as Alex, one of our listeners had mentioned last week, there were a lot of error messages, a lot of loading screens. So you just want to confirm that you did in fact get the park pass that you wanted on the day that you wanted. So you do have to do that for consecutive days and for each day of your theme park ticket. So if you have a 5-day, multi-day ticket, you must make park reservations for 5 days. So our travel agents cannot or should not, we will not, we cannot make those park pass reservations for you, because there's a legal disclaimer at the bottom that you have to check that says you agree to the terms and conditions of entering the parks. And it's just an assumption of liability for COVID-19, that you understand that you could contract something if you are at a theme park. So that is something that you have to do on your own, but we are happy to help guide you through the process. So let's see. Casey says, is this the first or last step of planning your trip? Casey, it kind of both, because you want to make sure that the availability is there before you book your trip. Because you don't want to buy your vacation package and get a hotel reservation and then realize that, some of the parks are closed on certain days and I'm there. So you want to check it first. But you cannot book a park reservation unless you have a valid theme park ticket. So that's why it's so complicated. It's good to have a travel agent. We can help you out there, but you want to check the calendar before, then book your reservations, your hotel reservations, and buy your theme park tickets, and then finally make the park pass reservations. If that all sounds confusing, that's because it is. And so we have spent hours on the Disney website, My Disney Experience accounts, getting this all figured out. So we have it down for you. So let us know if you need help. So yeah, so Lydia does say it looks kind of easy to operate. It is, because we're all familiar with the Fast Pass system, and that is essentially what this is. So Hannah says, if you have a park hopper, do you have to do multiple reservations for one day? Hannah, the answer to that is there will be no park hoppers available, especially right now. They have been temporarily suspended, so no park hoppers are available. So you get one park per day per ticket. That being said, if park hoppers open back up and Disney raises the capacity, if the reservation still exists, you may have to do multiple reservations. But right now, the reservations are going hand in hand with lowered capacity limits. So right now, one park per ticket per person, excuse me. So, and just as a reminder, if you get to the front, when you get to the front of the park, your temperature will be taken, and if anybody in your party screens a temperature of 100.4 degrees or higher, your whole party cannot enter the park. So, all right, let me look at the comments here. Casey says, so what happens if you buy tickets but there are no more reservations? That's unfortunate, and you're going to want to reschedule your trip. So unless you're okay with just doing a resort stay only vacation, but that's why it's really important that you check the reservations or you check the availability before you get reservations. So, yeah, Lydia says, OMG, I can't imagine a trip without park hoppers. I guess more pull time. Yeah, you are at one park per day. So luckily, with everything going on over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, all the new attractions, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, everything going on over at Galaxy's Edge, Rise of the Resistance, that is a full day theme park now. I've always thought Animal Kingdom is a full day theme park, especially now with Pandora, the World of Avatar. Obviously, Magic Kingdom and Epcot are full day parks, so you shouldn't have any trouble filling your time. So, all right. So with that, if there are no other questions about the Disney Park Pass system, I will move on to my Magic Kingdom top 5 attractions. So this is a list that I compiled of the top 5 attractions, in my opinion, at the Magic Kingdom. Your opinion might be different, and I want to hear what your top 5 are. So if you're in the chat box, make sure you put them in the comment section. And if you're rewatching this show, you couldn't join live, make sure you add in the comments what your top 5 Magic Kingdom attractions are. So, okay. So, with that, and I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. So, coming in at number 5 is the People Mover over in Tomorrowland. So, the People Mover is obviously one of my favorite attractions. It is a slow-moving attraction that uses magnetic... Well, I'll just read it straight from Disney. So, always ahead of its time, the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover accelerates magnetically using linear induction motors. So I have no idea what that means other than it is running on magnets. But this attraction to me is classic. It gives you a nice view of all of Tomorrowland. There is usually no wait. If there is a wait, we're talking maybe 10 minutes. And I love getting on there, and it just whips you around, even though it's slow moving, to get going. And then you hear, paging Mr. Morrow, Mr. Tom Morrow, classic attraction. Let me read the description straight from the Disney website. So, board an elevated tram for leisurely voyage through Tomorrowland. During your narrated tour, go behind the scenes of attractions like Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin, Space Mountain, and Star Traders retail shop. You can see architectural models of Progress City, the prototype for Epcot. So, and if you're unfamiliar, when I said the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover, that is the formal full name, but more colloquially known as the People Mover. So the nice thing about this attraction is if it's a nice hot day, you get a breeze. It is 10 minutes long, and there are no height restrictions. So just when I'm on this ride, it just feels like it's one of those rides where I just feel like, oh my gosh, I'm in the Magic Kingdom. I can see everything going on at Tomorrowland. You come around the bend and you see that beautiful view of the castle. And for 10 minutes, you get to sit back, relax, take in the sights, the smells, everything that makes Magic Kingdom great, you can see on this attraction. So, Casey says, Did they ever fix the one in Disneyland? No, that is still sitting abandoned, unfortunately. But it would definitely be great over in Tomorrowland at Disneyland. Lydia says, OMG, I kind of forgot about the People Mover. It's so soothing. I do miss the voice, though. Now approaching Space Mountain. Lydia, let me know how I did with that. I'm not too confident with that voice over there. But Lydia, I'm assuming because you forgot about the People Mover that it is not on your top 5 list. So Lydia, share with us what was on your list. Let's see. Lydia says, no, they need to or just get rid of it, referring back to the People Mover over at Disneyland. Yeah, Lydia, I agree. And my preference would be to fix it. So there are a couple of other things that I like about the People Mover. You get to go through Space Mountain and you can hear the people on Space Mountain. So you can hear the screams, you can hear the music, you can hear the coaster whipping around. And if you're lucky enough, you might just be able to go through Space Mountain and the lights come on. And if so, you are special. You are one of a few people who have gotten to see Space Mountain with the lights on. And just being on the People Mover, going through Space Mountain is just really cool. And it's really dark. And it's just a different type of experience in a theme park. Speaking about it being, dark, this attraction takes on an entirely new life at nighttime. So during the day, it's hot, it's sunny, and you're going around Tomorrowland and you're catching the breeze, as Lydia says. The breeze is amazing. And it's a great attraction, but at night it gets extra special. The lights come on, it's set against the dark sky, and Tomorrowland is just, lit up with all of the bright lights that makes up Tomorrowland. With the signs, you see the castle all lit up. So my advice is to ride the People Mover during the day and to ride the People Mover at night. 2 totally different experiences. You do not need a fast pass because the wait is so short. So Casey says, this is the only time I get to be inside Space Mountain. Yeah, Casey is not a roller coaster fan, so this is the only time that Casey gets to be in Space Mountain. So Lydia says, Lydia's number 5. Lydia, I'm not going to share your comment, but your number 5 was Jungle Cruise. So let's see if Jungle Cruise is on my top 5. So coming in at number 4, we are sticking in obviously Magic Kingdom, but we're sticking in Tomorrowland, and that is Space Mountain. So we won't see Casey in Space Mountain too often, only on the People Mover, but Space Mountain comes in at number 4 for me, and that's just because it is a classic, and you're going to hear me say that word a lot. It's classic, it is thrilling, it's a roller coaster in the dark, and what is not to like about that? So it is tucked in there at the back of Tomorrowland. It does have a height requirement of 44 inches or taller, and Disney describes this as a thrill ride with big drops and a dark ride. So Space Mountain is definitely up there for me. Let me read to you the description from the Disney site. Dip and careen into the inky blackness as a futuristic soundtrack echoes all around you. Fly past shooting stars and celestial satellites. Roar past streaking orbs of light, wayward comets, and migrant meteors. Feel the pull of gravity as you're drawn into a swirling wormhole. And the description just you can just feel being whipped around the corners in the dark environment. And one thing that this attraction does is not only is it dark, but they project stars and other things in the galaxy, and they play this music and the sound effects as you're going around in circles, and it's just playing these sound effects. It makes it feel like you're going even faster. So there are 2 tracks, the Alpha and Omega. Pretty much identical tracks, just invertedly related. And one, typically the way that this attraction is divided up is the queue is between Fast Pass and regular standby queue. and then one goes to the left and one goes to the right. My recommendation for Space Mountain is to get a fast pass. This attraction is a premier attraction at the Magic Kingdom. It is everybody's favorite, or at least is on their list. And so, this attraction definitely warrants wait time 60, 70, 80, 90 minutes and above. And if it's a really busy day, 2 to 3 hours is not unexpected. So if you want the opportunity to ride Space Mountain, I highly encourage you to get a fast pass for this attraction. Let me cut on over to the comments real quick. Lydia says, OMG, OMG, that tunnel music in Space Mountain, green heart. Is the green heart themed, Lydia? Is there something to the green heart? I totally agree, Lydia. The music in the tunnel is one of my favorite cue musics, pieces of music. It is kind of like that inspiring, but also very exciting. Kind of get you in that cosmic, galactic frame of mind, ready for a trip, as it says, as you are drawn into a swirling wormhole. So, Hannah provided her list. I'll tell you what, let me get to Lydia's list real quick. Lydia's was the Jungle Cruise, Space Mountain, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Haunted Mansion. So, Lydia, that is a good list. We just might have some similarities in our list. So stay tuned with that. Hannah provides her list. My list is Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, also in Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland's really representing with our favorite attractions. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Space Mountain. I've never ridden Splash Mountain. It was too cold when I was there. Yeah, not an attraction you want to ride if it is cold, because you will get wet. So, all right. Well, let's see. All right, we got some talk about movies. Lydia says, haha, it's Space Mountain green. Gotcha. Okay, that was the green heart. So, all right, let me move on over to my third favorite attraction. It comes in at number 3 at the Magic Kingdom, and that is Pirates of the Caribbean. So, again, you've heard me say this word before. It is a classic attraction. So, it was not original with the park, but it came shortly after the opening at the Magic Kingdom. It has its counterpart over at Disneyland Park, which a lot of people say that the Pirates at Disneyland is better than at Disney World. I would agree. But Pirates still comes in number 3 for me for top Magic Kingdom attractions. It is a great boat ride. It is fairly long. It has great scenes and original, really well done, kind of old time animatronics. So let me read what the information from the Disney site. So, the Disneyland site, Disney World site says, set sail on a swashbuckling voyage to a long-forgotten time and place when pirates and pirateers rolled the seas. Good news for anyone wanting to get on this attraction is that it has no height restrictions. It is a slow ride. Disney does say it has small drops, which it does have a small drop, but it is possibly the best dark ride at the Magic Kingdom. The soundtrack at Pirates of the Caribbean is great. It is fun. It's also a little spooky at the beginning. Really gets you in that frame of mind. But we go from serious, at the beginning of the attraction, we hear pirates' voices and Davy Jones, and then you get forward in the attraction, and yo-ho, yo-ho, A Pirate's Life for Me begins, and the attraction is just so much fun. So, Disney says, sail past haunted Dead Man's Cove, navigate cannon fire between a Caribbean fort and a striking 12-gun galleon. Behold boisterous buccaneers drunk on the spoils of plundering as flames engulf a seaside town. Be sure to keep a spry eye out for Captain Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Ye beware, mateys. Dead men tell no tales. So you can see Captain Jack Sparrow in the attraction. He has a couple of animatronics, which really brings the movie into the attraction. Kind of a big misunderstanding is that the attraction came after the movies and was inspired by Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's the other way around. The movies are inspired from the attraction, which makes this attraction extra special. So, Lydia agrees about Disneyland's. It is better. It is longer. It has 2 drops. The scenes are a little bit more in depth. And yes, it does have a spooky beginning. It really sets the scene for adventure. So, my recommendation for Pirates of the Caribbean at Disney World at the Magic Kingdom is you don't need a fast pass. Sometimes this line does get a little long. You can see getting to 30, even 45, 60 minutes, but very rarely does it get that long. Typically, this sits at about that 30-minute time range to queue. And the queue is dark. It's cool. They're pumping air conditioning. It's all indoors, so it's kind of a nice break from the sun. So my recommendation is you don't need to get a fast pass for this. If you have one or you want one, great. I would say go for it, but it's not totally necessary. Lydia says his animatronic is like 10 times more advanced than the older ones. It is a little lopsided when it comes to the technology used and how well Jack Sparrow looks, his animatronic, but it works. It fits. It's a great attraction. One of my favorite lines from an attraction is, "Don't tell him, Carlos, don't be chicken." Is I say that after every time I get off that ride, and anyone who rides that ride with me gets annoyed because that line is stuck in my head for the rest of the day. All right. Casey's sharing his top 5. Let's cut on over to that. His is number 5, Space Ranger Spin, 4 Jungle Cruise, 3 Haunted Mansion, 2 Pirates of the Caribbean, and 1 Splash Mountain. So, he even has a shout out to Indiana Jones over in Disneyland. So Casey, is that the Indiana Jones attraction or Indiana Jones character? So I'm just teasing. Indiana Jones, if you don't know, is built like dinosaur over at the Animal Kingdom, and I agree with Casey. I like the Indiana Jones, Casey, attraction over at Disneyland. So Lydia says, I love the queue. I love the chess scene. Yeah, me too. And if you don't know what Lydia is referring to, there is a chess scene between 2 skeletons. Sorry, I just get choked up talking about this queue. There are 2 skeletons playing chess, and they are out of position with the pieces on the board that they are perpetually, nobody can win. So they will be playing forever. So just as a quick recap, we have number 5, The People Mover, number 4, Space Mountain, and number 3, Pirates of the Caribbean. So, and Casey, shout out to Casey. I was just joking with you. So, all right, Pirates of the Caribbean is over. Let's move on to number 2, and that is Splash Mountain over in Frontierland. Splash Mountain is a special ride to me. I remember riding this as a boy, and I'll tell that story just real quick. I remember riding this attraction with my dad and my brother, and it was when we went as kids, and we got in this attraction. We had so much fun. We got off the attraction, and there was a 5-minute wait, so we got back in line, and we rode it again. We got off the attraction, 5-minute wait. We rode it again. And we did this 5 or 6 times, which if you are familiar with Splash Mountain, it is an 11-minute attraction. So we rode Splash Mountain for over 60 minutes straight. But it is one of my favorite memories from Walt Disney World, riding Splash Mountain as a young boy. The classic log flume attraction. So let's talk about Splash Mountain. So Disney's description is drop into a whimsical world filled with classic characters and songs on this thrilling log flume adventure. Riders must be 40 inches or taller to ride. It is categorized as a thrill ride, a water ride with big drops. So, with that, I would say that Splash Mountain is definitely thrilling. It is definitely a big drop here in the front. In fact, this drop right here down Chickapin Hill is 5 stories tall. So, with all of that said, there are over 100 audio animatronics in this attraction that sing songs as you go through the different scenes. Specifically, there are 950,000 gallons of water, 3 dips, and the 5-story drop. If you are a guest who has personal items on them and you don't want to get them wet, there are lockers over in Frontierland that you can use. Now, some of you might be asking, well, Bruce, Splash Mountain is number 2 on your list of favorite attractions at the Magic Kingdom. So how do you feel about the recent news that Disney broke that says they are re-theming Splash Mountain to Princess and the Frog? So if you haven't seen the artwork, the concept art, here it is. You can see the classic log flume here of Splash Mountain, and the boat in the tree, and how pretty this attraction is going to be. My thoughts are on it. We've talked about this on other shows, on the podcast, on the live show last week. And my feelings are, I am excited for the Princess and the Frog rendition of Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain is special to me, but I have no ties to the storyline. I've never seen the movie. I know of the movie, and I am glad that Disney is taking a stand in retheming this to be a more inclusive attraction that will bring in Tiana from Princess and the Frog, who almost really doesn't have a presence in the parks besides a meet and greet. So she gets her own ride. We'll see Naveen. We'll see Louis the alligator. And I think this attraction will bring in a whole new set of fans, a younger generation of fans. And so I am particularly excited about this. I'm probably more excited about this than any other news that's come out recently. I think this attraction is going to be stellar. 11 minutes of music from Princess and the Frog. You can count me in. So I'm excited about it. And who knows? Maybe the Princess and the Frog version of Splash Mountain just becomes my new number 1 favorite attraction. So, Lydia says, this ride is... Oh, let me make this a little bigger. This ride is so much fun because you can get off completely drenched or totally dry. Yeah. And I do think it's funny that Disney does say that riders in the back may experience a sudden splash or spray. Those who opt for the front of the boat can expect to get soaked. And that is, for the most part, very true. So, I would say don't get on this attraction thinking that you're going to stay dry, though. So, let's see. Oh my God, it looks so beautiful. Lydia referring to the concept art of Princess and the Frog. I totally agree. The movie is so good. It really is. And not only is it good, I think Tiana is a great role model for young kids. And so I'm just excited that there is going to be a dedicated attraction to her. And I am excited to be 11 minutes in what is my second favorite ride at Magic Kingdom, an 11-minute log flume attraction set to Princess and the Frog music. So, Casey says, honestly, probably my favorite villain as well. I can't wait to see how they implement him. If they do, I hope that Dr. Facilier somehow makes his appearance. I do know that Disney has said that the attraction is going to take place after the Kiss and is going to be their trip to Mardi Gras. So we can expect music and bright colors and a lot of fun. But if you remember towards the end of that movie, Dr. Facilier, he's kind of, consumed in that cemetery. So I like Dr. Facilier as a villain. I agree with Casey. I hope he makes an appearance in the attraction somehow. So, or at least a meet and greet would be good too. I've also heard a lot on social media, like how great would it be if they have a beignet shop at the end? So instead of the gift shop at the end of the attraction, they have a beignet shop, and that would be perfect. So, Lydia just said the same thing I did. Spoilers. I think we're good with spoilers. That movie's been out a while, so. That's all I had to say on that. I did have one more note, and that is, just because Splash Mountain is leaving, Walt always said about the parks that they are not a museum. They are going to be constantly changing and improving, and I definitely think this is a step in the right direction and a big improvement. So, let's see. So that takes us to my number one favorite attraction over at the Magic Kingdom. Can anybody guess what that is? And there's a bit of a delay, so I'm just going to go ahead and disclose what my favorite attraction is. And the honor system will have to prevail if you guessed right, but you've seen this on everybody's list that provided it in the comment section below. And my number one favorite attraction at the Magic Kingdom is the Haunted Mansion. So over at Liberty Square, climb aboard a gloomy doom buggy for a grave journey through a labyrinth of haunted chambers. So this attraction has no height restrictions. It is a slow-moving dark ride. And here is the description from the Disney site. The disembodied voice of the ghost host is your private guide through the cadaverous realm of the eerie haunted estate, home to ghosts, ghouls, and supernatural surprises. Glide past a casket-filled conservatory, Madame Leota's chilling seance room, and a ghostly graveyard of singing specters as you attempt to find your way out. Beware of hitchhikers. These phantom pranksters may follow you home. So, this attraction to me is the definition of classic. It is slow moving. It is a dark ride. It has spooky. It is fun. You get spooked in some places. You laugh in others. It is home to the famous ballroom scene with the ghosts are dancing. The ghosts inside the portraits are dueling. And if you want to know how that ballroom scene is done, just YouTube Powers Ghost, and you'll see how they do that ballroom scene. But it is one of the best scenes in an attraction at the Magic Kingdom. This attraction ends with a really well-themed, small, quaint gift shop, Memento Mori, and there you can find different Haunted Mansion themed merchandise. So everything about this ride is just classic. It is creative, it is original, it is spooky, it is fun. Even though it's an indoor attraction, nighttime enhances this attraction. It brings something out in it. You queue up in the dark and you come out in the dark. And one great thing about this attraction too is the cast member interaction. They are stone-faced. They are speaking in low voices, as if they are playing dead. Everybody gets involved with this attraction. The tombstones are everywhere in the queue, and they're funny. So this attraction just has this great dichotomy between funny and spooky, which just leads to a very unique experience. And again, you've heard the word before coming from me, but a classic experience. So, Lydia says, OMG, really? Yes, really. It is my favorite attraction at the Magic Kingdom. She says, I love that it's an original storyline. Me too. It's not based on an IP. We know that there was an Eddie Murphy movie that came after it, but Haunted Mansion was original. Haunted Mansion is also at Disneyland. So, original storyline, which makes it a classic attraction. So, and Casey even mentions that it's also really cool to see how they adapted it for the parks in other countries. I totally agree. I love what they do over at Disneyland for the holidays with the overlay. So the Nightmare Before Christmas, I love that overlay. So, Memento Mori, love it. So, and so does Lydia. So yes, that is my top 5 attractions at the Haunted Mansion. Just as a quick recap, coming at number 5, the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover. Number 4, staying in Tomorrowland, Space Mountain, followed by Pirates of the Caribbean. Number 2, Splash Mountain, and I can't wait for Princess and the Frogs version. And number 1, the Haunted Mansion. So that is my top 5. Let me know what your top 5 are. If you weren't able to join us live tonight, put it in the comment section below. I would love to hear what your top 5 are and why. Tell me where I'm right. Tell me where I'm wrong. I definitely want to know your thoughts on Magic Kingdom attractions. So guys, it is 8:25. It is time to wrap the show up. I appreciate you joining us tonight or rewatching us at a later date. Please give this video a thumbs up. That helps keep the content coming. That helps keeps us going. And also, it will allow you to follow along and stay in the know with everything Disney and Universal news related. So we will be on again next Monday night at 7:30 here on Facebook Live. Come ready to discuss your favorite things and ask your vacation questions. Catch our podcast over on Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube, where we talk about the latest news and take us on the go. And then to stay in the know and read articles, visit our blog site at 407vacations.com/in the know. And as always, if you are looking for yourself or to take your family on a Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Disney's Alani Resort, Universal Orlando Vacation, any of those, visit us and work with a travel agent at 407 and Beyond Vacation Company. Our site is at www.407vacations.com. So for everyone joining us this evening or rewatching us, thanks a lot for participating. I look forward to seeing you next week. Stay safe, stay well, and thanks for a good show, everybody.